Good.
Monday night, as far as just the communication and the process?
I thought the process and the communication was really good. It was fun going through it with everyone, with the guys upstairs, my coaches on the sideline, and also the players. Just being able to talk through everything and go from group to group, depending on what was needed to be talked about. I thought it was really smooth, and the guys being open and just kind of just talking through our next series, what happened on that series, just like you do all the time. It was just cool to be able to bounce from group to group doing the same thing.
Describe you calling the game as flawless, and then just the combination of you guys talking, and so it seemed like he really anticipated and knew exactly where you were coming from on every play call. Is that kind of the?
Well, I don't think anyone's flawless, but I would say it was good communication throughout the game, and with him as well. And I try and talk to the guys during the week what I'm thinking, and why we're doing what we're doing, the reasons behind it, back it up with tape and the plan, and they executed.
Season, Kyle let Clay call the offensive plays. Was that in part so that he could kind of listen in with you, and did you get extra help from him, or at least just input and getting that part of things down at all?
Why Kyle let Coob do it? Kyle's been great with me this whole time, and like I've said before, it's been really fun in this position to be able to talk a lot with the offensive guys too. And when doing scripts and you're scripting with the offense during training camp, you have to be more connected with them. So I was really talking a lot with Coob, and some with Lombardi and Kyle. But regardless, I think that communication was there. Why he did what he did, I don't know. You could ask him, but I think a lot of it was, Coob's done a great job too. But I've enjoyed learning a lot, just being more connected, like I said, with Coob and with Kyle. And he's always trying to teach you and challenge you, and that's what's been really awesome, just being here, period, like as a Niner the last 3 years, not just in the last, 6 months.
What are the hallmarks of a Kevin O'Connell offense?
It's very similar to a lot of the things that they did with the Rams. It's been around for a while, and it's been really successful. And I think with, Sam, that he's a good quarterback, and we've seen that. And I think he brings a lot of those qualities, obviously, with the pieces he has with Aaron Jones and with Justin Jefferson. He has a lot of those things that, make that offense special, and we've got to be really detailed in what we do.
How much communication do you have with Kyle in game, like on Monday night? Like, how much are you going back and forth?
Oh, in game? No, he's busy in game. Yeah, that's totally different. Even now, he's really busy. It's just when we can catch moments to, talk about stuff, we try to.
Okay, so in the preseason games, though, did you
during the game? A little bit. A little. I don't remember it being like a ton.
In that after the Jets touchdown drive that you guys made, big adjustments or some adjustments after that. Is that the case, or was it more just better execution of what you were doing?
I think it's always a combination of things. There's always something that goes wrong, when people are sustaining drives, whether it's execution or just communication. It's, the league is so detailed. There's always such little things that happen that you might not be able to see, when you're just watching it. But, there was, for whatever reason, it wasn't ever one thing, just like it never is. And, yeah, we're always correcting them on the sideline. And the guys did a really good job of responding. I think the best thing about it, in this game, was how our guys played as a group. I think they felt confident, they played fast, and we always hope that shows up on tape, is how hard our guys play and how fast.
Familiar you are with Sam Darnold with the Jets, and I realized he wasn't in a wonderful situation there. But if you can speak to that and how he looked, like say last week, do you see wow, he's done this, and this so much better? He's a much better quarterback, or did you kind of see stuff like he had that potential with the Jets, but he wasn't in a great situation?
I don't know a ton about the situation, but I do know, which is why he was drafted so high, is how much talent he has. He's a really good athlete. If you watch him throw, he can throw. I think there's always a lot of things that go into, having success. There's so many guys on the team. It's not ever one person. That's why you need all these different pieces. You need guys that can click. You need guys that work together. And he definitely has the talent. He's got the arm strength. He can see things. I think he probably learned a lot, too, when he came here. As you would in any year, you keep growing and you could see it on the practice field. I was like, man, he can really throw it. And he would, give us good looks in practice and stuff going against him. You could see the talent. You can see how he moves. He's a good athlete as well.
You guys had a run-heavy game plan Monday night and had a lot of success and dominated the time of possession. And as a result, your D-line, I think, averaged your first teamers like 30 snaps. Was that part of the master plan to kind of play complementary football, try to protect your D-line early in the year?
I mean, I think everyone would love to do that every single week, to play less snaps on defense because you're running the ball like that. I think that's why it's always, teams always talk about it, the whole cliche of, an offense is going to say we want to run the ball and defense is going to say we want to stop the run because it opens up so many things and you can control the game. And, I think anyone would like to say that they could run it and play, 50-some snaps on defense. And, that was how it worked out, and it was great.
About needing to correct some things in the run game in training camp, and the Jets clearly went after you guys in that regard, and it wasn't that successful for them. What did you think, especially of your front with Malik and Javon?
Really pleased with those guys. I mean, they've been practicing awesome. You saw how explosive and how strong and powerful they were. That was on full display. The stuff that we've been talking about, these guys, and our offense is tough. That's why a lot of times I said I would come after practice and not feel so great about it. But our offense is really good too. So we grew a lot by going against a really good offense every day for the entirety of training camp. And sometimes that can be humbling, but it's good. I used to like those days when we got our butts kicked. One time you guys said that we had such a big day and it was like however many picks, and I was like, it didn't feel like it out there because they had success too. Well, that's the truth, and that's how you grow. And I kind of like it when it had some back and forth because if they didn't make it hard for us, how are we going to get better? You don't feel good if you're just. I don't feel good when I beat my sons in ping pong when they were 5 years old, 21-3. Like some people might, I don't. I want to play someone that's a challenger. I'm not going to get any better. So, and that's the truth. I used to crush them. I still can. I still do, but yeah, I don't know. It's ask them.
How'd they get 3? That's the question.
What's that? I don't think they got at 5. No, they didn't get 3, and I never let them win. So my dad never let me win. So if I ever beat him, I knew it was real. So I do the same thing with my kids.
Closer now.
Closer now. They beat me in chess, but they play a lot of chess. But ping pong, they've never beat me ever.
Chess player?
This with going on in Jefferson, but what's kind of been the focal of practice this week in trying to prepare the defense to go up against the Vikings on the road?
Yeah, I mean those are the guys we have to stop, along with Aaron Jones. He's a heck of a runner. We had trouble with him last year. He's had a lot of success. He's a tough runner. He can move. He's slippery. I think the thing about him is how he can slash, but he is just. I have a ton of respect with how he runs the ball. He's not a big guy, but he runs big and he finishes runs and he's tough. And it's a big challenge for us. It's not just Justin Jefferson because he's an excellent receiver too, who plays tough as well. I think they have a lot of pieces that do fit this offensive scheme and a lot of respect for how they play their game and this offense that they're well coached.
Fowles has been a guy that's been.
Say that again from the start.
Flanagan Fowles has been a guy
Flan,
that's
yeah.
watched a lot of Fred and Dre over the last couple of years. Now he's stepping into a more prominent role with Dre out. How did you think he did, and what does he bring to the table for you?
Flan's done awesome. He's progressed so much over the years, and the cool thing about Flan is, like you said, he's had great examples. Even when Aziz was here, but with Dre and with Fred, these guys are two of the best in the game. And with them, it's not just so much how good they are, it's that they make themselves good by doing it really well and working really hard every single day. So when you get in that room, it's always been a really good room, along with Johnny Holland coaching them. And over these years, you can't not get better. And when you're in it for a few years, like Flan and like Curtis has been, like you just continue to get better. And like how you saw D. Winters get, improve as well. But really proud of Flan. We're glad he's on our team. It was cool to see him get a pick like that. But he's continually gotten better over these years.
How do you see the pros and cons of having somebody like Mooney travel with Justin Jefferson on every play?
There's pros and cons to everything. We feel great about all our corners. Love Mooney. I think Mooney's he's top notch. He's one of the top tier corners in the game.
Do you have any other parenting trends that carry over to your coaching?
Oh no, I don't know how that went to ping pong, but it was going against our offense. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Oh, they're 12 and 13. Stone and Nash. Yep. All right, thanks.
So we're just giggly because Nick Sorensen told us that he destroys his kids in ping pong because he can't let them win.
I don't doubt that.
Chris, what were your impressions of how Pooney fared in his first start?
He was solid performance. All of them were, it was a productive game. JP had a good game. We win, which was great. Everybody's got a lot of work to do. His first game of the year. Pooney's in that. It was, for the first time I had to get kind of upset with him during the game. We made an adjustment in the first quarter, and then we're in the third quarter, and he's talking about the adjustment we made in the first quarter. And I said, I know we talked about it for 6 days, that this is how we're going to do it, but in the first quarter we decided we weren't going to do it anymore. And so I said that was, it gave me a reason to get fired up in the second half, which was good. So I'd prefer not, but it was okay.
You mentioned Trent Williams kind of getting winded down the stretch, of course, after missing a little bit of all of preseason rather. But what do you think about his conditioning now going into this game again?
Trent's in a lot better shape. It's really interesting to watch. I mean, to think that he went in with an IV, to think he played all the plays he played, is pretty amazing. Now, Trent's smart. Trent knows when to go hard and when not to go hard. Trent knows when he can take a little bit off and when he can't. And there was some rustiness. There was some rust he needed to get knocked off. So to watch him go through all the plays he went through to just IV up, and then he really only missed 2 plays. And I didn't think he was going to go back in. And then he's running back out there like a kid. Hey, I'm going back in. Right? I'm saying, well, wait, I didn't even think you were going back. IV just stand next to me and let Jalen finish off the game. But he went back in for a few more plays. So, and this week it seems, the first yesterday we didn't do as much, and then today we're a lot more. He seems like right back where he should be. Last year, we mentioned, I think last week, Nick took 35 snaps. I think he came back on Friday before the first game, took 35 snaps. The next week he played 60-something. So I think the conditioning is there. It's just he needs to start playing football again.
Was there rest technique-wise at all with Trent, or was it?
It's just the timing. That they're just like we've said in here. There's nothing like the real rep of a game, that full speed, that push, that all that shoving and stuff. It's just that he didn't get that timing. No matter how hard he drills himself or practices against air or bags or whatever he does, it's not the same. So it's just timing.
For obvious reasons, you've had a lot of success rushing to the left over the years. The other night, you went to the right more frequently and had a lot of success doing it. What kind of goes into that in terms of when you're putting the run game plan together, and why do you think you were so successful doing it?
There's times where we say, okay, it has to be a pretty drastic reason for us to say we're not going to run left or not going to run right. And there might be a play or two that we lean on because of the 95, for example, last week. We might have said we went a little more right than left, but I don't think it weighed in the plan. It did, but I won't say it was that major. When everybody brings up that stat, I'm okay. It's not like we do it on purpose. Oh, we're running behind Trent. We're going to do. No, we have so many shifts and motions in the way our game plan is set up. It's really hard for us. We can predict at times and say, okay, hey, if we want this play and we're in the right hash and it's going to the right. It's not like, we're not going to run because we just want to run to the left. There's a handful of plays where that comes up. So it's more of just, I don't want to say it's because when we run left it's better. I can't say that. So it wasn't by plan any way stretch of a little bit because of 95 from the Jets.
Consider, even for a moment, going back to, I think it was 2022, where you put Trent in motion and then he'd have to come out for a play to get a breather?
No. He was so winded. After that, we put him in the backfield and had him go. He was dead. I'm like, dude was like, he said, man, that's hard. He said, so no, there was no thought of doing that. I wish you would have told me last week. I might have thought of it, yeah.
Mason's touchdown run, the design of that play was really interesting. You had the double team on the left side, but it looked like Pooney and the Kippitt's were at pass sets. Then you had Debo and Kittle coming across, creating that cutback lane.
Yeah. The one that got, not the one that got called back, the other one. Yeah, it's a different. We don't run the scheme very much. A lot of teams do it. It's an every now and then concept for us. And the block that I didn't personally, I was like, I looked at the guy next to me and said, this play's not going to work, and it goes for a touchdown. But my question was Debo could make his block. The other part of it with the pass set to get him up the field was a good thought. Like our defense, they jet up, double team the front side. He just creates a nice cutback lane. It creates more space than some of the normal plays we run down there. But that block that Debo had to make was a tough one. Our guys do. I can't say enough about our receivers. JJ, Debo, Ayuk, all of them. They're just crisp. They all get in there. They get dirty. They don't mind doing the hard work. They block linebackers. They dive safeties. They don't say no. They keep going. They keep trying. And he did such a good job. That's why I said to Fleury and Kyle, I said, not my favorite play down there. But Kyle called it. But that's not the first time that we've called a play and it goes for 50 yards. I say, this play sucks, and that's 50 yards down the field. So, I don't know. See, I couldn't let you out of this room if I told you. Sorry.
Chris, when you watch the Viking film, how does Flores utilize Metellus, and how much part of the rush plan is he?
It's just They do everything, and they do everything well. I mean, this is not a pregame pep talk for the Vikings are the greatest team in football. I mean, this guy does a good job. What they do very well. They're fundamentally sound. They're one of the few teams that fundamentally they challenge you that they might be better fundamentally than we are. They play with their hands well. They do everything. They rush well. They have a plan. There's a thought behind everything that they do. It's very well thought out, very meticulous, very detailed, and the guys play really hard. You can tell that he's tough on them, and you can tell those guys there's a lot demanded of them, and they play hard. And so whatever the plan is, they use it very well. It's well thought out. He does an excellent job.
I know there's a lot on the center's shoulders with pre-snap, center protections, but what did you think of Jake Brendle's performance?
Jake with the rest of them. I think that we were all a step below where I think any of them would want to play. There were some good things in the game, obviously, but it just wasn't as sharp as we needed it to be, and there's got a lot to work, which is good. I said, the good thing is we won, and the great thing is we got 16 more weeks to see if we can get better, and we do have we have a reason to come to practice this week, so it was good.
Chris, Dominic Cooney said that he felt like the Jets were stunting things directly towards him as the young guy on the offensive line. I know that he has some stuff to work on, but how did he handle it emotionally, mentally on the field?
He doesn't get rattled very much. So if he was rattled, I didn't notice it. I got on him a little bit, but he doesn't get rattled. So I didn't notice that. And it's probably how he did feel first game on Monday Night Football. I don't think they were doing a lot towards him, but he felt it. So it's a big game. The first game, it's hard, and he did a really, like I said, he did a really nice job. But we could have been better.
What do you see from the Vikings defense? They gave you some trouble last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're well prepared. They're well coached. They play hard. The crowd noise, Skol, all the stuff that they say. It's just it's crazy. If there was was it a Monday or Sunday night game last week? Last year was Monday. Yeah, it was loud and crazy and all that stuff. And I used to coach there, and back in the day, it was in the Metrodome. There used to be a building called the Metrodome where they played football there. But anyway, the Metrodome they had, but if 12 o'clock kickoffs, if you got up on the Vikings early, they weren't always in the stadium at noon. Now they may be there, but those 12 o'clock kickoffs, you get up on a team early. Minnesota, it can be quieter, but you give them all day to get revved up for that game, and it was loud. And this week will be the same thing. It's their first home game. I remember we went out there to San Francisco. Brett Favre's first game as a Viking. And Singletary was head coach. I was here, and they threw that touchdown at the end of the game to beat us. And that place was quiet early because we had the lead, but then they got rolling the second half, and it was rocking, man. It was holy cow. That was a loud place to play, and I think that's what there is. That's the challenge. That the defense is good. The defense has a lot going on, so there's a lot of communication, and then you take that crowd noise on top of it, and it's just a challenge. The good thing is our guys we've done it. We got to keep doing it, but we've at least it's not like Pooney will be the first time for him in that environment, and he's the guy that looked back with the tap, and he's got to do all that stuff. So there's a lot going on for him.
Chris, when you say Trent knows when to go hard and knows when to take a little easier, is that like a Trent thing, like a Jonathan Ogden thing?
It could be anybody, yeah, any of them. Well, take the play, the touchdown play talked about. Like Colton's job on that play, where the front side has to drive and work and push and shove and they got to get things going over there. The backside tackle just passed it, so if that guy goes up the field, he just kind of puts his hands and that's it, play over. So you don't have to, blood and guts that play. You get them up the field, you put your hand, and it's done. And a touchdown. I go congratulate and slam the ball like I did something, right? That's a play that isn't your play, and those plays. I'm not saying you take the play off, but there are plays that mentally and Trent's learned through the years that I just got to turn out and get this guy. If I just get this guy to do this, the play's over. I don't have to keep running down the field another 25 yards, and I can't because I'm an older player. So it's not that he's taking plays off necessarily. It's just that understanding the concept of the play, understanding my defender, what the defense is, what I think is going to happen on this play. You can't determine that too much because, shoot, the ball comes back to you at some point and you got a problem. But there's times a 3-step drop. If I set right, the ball's coming out quickly, I get my hands on him, boom, I run, done. I'm going to be good most times. So there's that pacing of a game that Trent will learn. The problem was with that game, as we talked about last week, we said, shoot, there's going to be these 11-play drives that he had in the Rams game of the COVID year. All right, we 8 plays, 6 plays, 11 plays, 10 plays, and there was just one after the other. I was shocked he didn't come out. But he did a heck of a job. Once again, here's a shocker. Trent surprises you that he's awesome, right? He is pretty awesome.
Hey Chris, JP had like 94 yards before contact. What did you think of the pop that your O-line had in the run game?
You know me, guys. We did okay. We got a lot of improvement. I give a lot of credit to the guys. Brian Fleury, Kyle. The way our run game is built, the formations, the movements, the things we do, we try to create places where there's going to be space to get the guy that space. You know, obviously we got to do our part and do the blocking. I get that. The guys did a good job of that. We got to do better. But it is so much the creativity that goes into this thing with the other guys. I'm down there, you yelling in the dirt down there, trying to get them to come off the ball and work harder. Those guys are creating these schemes where all of a sudden we have openings and we're getting the guy to the contact before that point. So we've got to do our part, and the guys did a good job with that. And I'm proud of the guys that, you know, we did run the ball fairly effectively for a first game. But that credit goes to a lot of other guys. Our guys did good, but it's spread around.
What was it like for you seeing, you've been with Jordan this whole time he's been here, just to see Jordan have kind of a big night?
That's great because, you know, we talked about it. You guys have consistently asked through the last couple of years when I've been up here anyway about the guy and how's he doing. And I keep saying this guy just keeps getting better and better and better. And the connection he has with Bobby Turner is special. I mean, nothing against A-Lin when he was here. A-Lin's a great man, a great coach. Just that when Bobby got in here and the connection they had has just been outstanding, and he is taken to it. And I think the other thing is, you know, all of us have a, you know, well, first, you know, he yells a lot. He gets pissed, you know, whatever it is, right? Or Bobby's hard on us and da-da-da-da. But then when you watch Christian McCaffrey just take to the coaching and hang on every word Bobby says and write every note. Well, when you're JP, you start doing it too, and you start listening, you start doing the things. Bobby knows how to get it back ready to play, you know. And so that's, for me, it's Trent. You know, whatever I say, I got Trent's got my back with these guys, or Colton, or these guys as you coach them through the years. It helps. It gives you as a coach validity that, yeah, the old man's going to lose his mind sometimes. Bobby's going to seem crazy sometimes, but at the end of the day, he has your best interest at heart. He cares about you, and what he's telling you is going to make you a good player. JP always worked hard, but there was always that little bit of a trust factor there. Now he's all in with Bobby, he's all in with the offense, and he has just flourished. He's a tough, hard-running guy. I was really happy for him, really, really happy for him to be able to go in and do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure, guys. Thank you.